Are we back live?
We are back live. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Thanks to our IT department to send out notification that our live stream went down. Those of us watching online, I apologize for that. We are back live, though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, before we continue, I'd like to remind everybody that at 5 p.m. today, we have people coming down for public hearings for some very large projects. So I would greatly appreciate if people would be mindful of the time, because we have many more pieces that come before us today. Councilmember Wilson.
Absolutely. I was elected to be here, so I'm going to sit through however long the meeting is. But thank you so much, and I'll be as short as possible to wrap up. The idea that we are restricted by the number of people. There are 5 people, excluding our current president, who don't have any sort of leadership positions. So there's plenty of people to be able to pick up and fill positions. I just wanted to share that point of positive feedback, if I may. And I think the other thing is that, yes, it's complicated, and I feel overwhelmed, with becoming a new council person. But I've also been sitting in these pews and watching this body for well over 5 years now. And this isn't about me wanting a leadership positions. I like to do the grunt work. I like the nitty-gritty work. I don't necessarily want a leadership position. This isn't about me. This is about looking forward. This is about the 5+ and historic left out of some people into leadership positions. There's a lot of folks that come from lots of different types of backgrounds that have led on large bodies, that have managed significant budgets. And the idea that we all know each other super well enough to be able to draw from that experience to be able to appoint is not necessarily accurate. So I think there's a lot of talent here. I think anybody who is elected by hundreds or thousands of Akronites should be placed on a committee and leadership positions. They have experience to win an election where hundreds, if not thousands, of Akronites feel that they are qualified to lead for them. I think they could also manage the day-to-day workings of a committee. Thank you so much, Chair, for letting me have time.
Thank you. And one clarification, my mention of the time constraints because of the other pieces wasn't because of inconvenience to any council member. Is for the inconvenience possibly of the folks that are coming out of their daily schedules for their businesses and so on to come down to speak before. So thank you.
Just real quick.
You have one more comment?
Very quick. Number one, I recognize versus reward. I think it was, I wasn't going toward reward. I was recognize experience that people may have. It's not a reward system. The personnel issues, and we could talk after this, in terms of, we do have laws around personnel issues in the state of Ohio, whereas, whenever it comes to those things, it protects both the individual as well as those contemplating what happens with individuals on personnel issues. So and with that, I'd like to recommend refer this.
Mr. Chair, just 1 second, if we can, because there was something that was stated that was not accurate. I want to make sure that all information is accurate. Committee on Committees never met publicly to assign chairmans or committee people. They always met in closed session. So I want to make that very clear. And then they would come out and then they would report out. So just to be clear, that didn't happen on the floor publicly. And I think you had alluded to that.
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Hanna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I recognize what you're saying about leadership and being placed on different committees, but I'm a newbie here, and you wouldn't want me to be on the Finance Committee because all the money would go toward 5. And so I did get on a committee where I thought that I would learn from a seasoned council person, and I'm very happy with that choice because I'm learning right now from 2 seasoned colleagues. So I don't think it's a good idea just to put anyone on a committee just because you like them or you think they can do the job. But you have to have someone there in the beginning especially on city council, that can lead and you are a follower. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Briefly?
Very briefly, thank you for the correction. I appreciate and accept that. I think my point is that the Committee on Committee used to be a part of the rules for 40 plus years, and that was a body that met publicly. It was in the public record about what their decision making was. Agenda and meeting notes happened. While yes, they did meet and then go immediately into executive session because of Ohio sunshine laws allow them to do that for appointments. Those decisions were encapsulated. The current process does not afford that to happen, to my understanding. There actually is no rule stipulating exactly how somebody would offer up a committee ask or a leadership ask, or specifically how that decision is made. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the feedback there. I think, the proposal before us in another piece of legislation on the agenda is to take the 9 standing committees down to 8. And my understanding watching council over the last couple of years and this year in particular is that there are definitely 8 people on this council, probably 13, who would do a really splendid job representing people in committee leadership. At the very least, there's for sure 8, in my personal opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Garrett, and then I would like to move on if possible.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Kemp Boyd always would say, both and. And so I've had the pleasure of learning, watching our president do a phenomenal job running the show. But I'm sort of like Shador Sanders. I'm ready to get in on one of these roles, whether it's co-chair. If you take a look at how we've passed out a lot of the positions, going forward, I'm hopeful that after the 2 years that Miss Jan Davis, very bright, Johnny Hanna, very bright, Bowden, very bright, Tina Bowles, very bright, Chairperson Fran, very bright. These individuals, I think it's time that we get an opportunity to step up and lead. I think the team ahead of us, Fusco, Brad, has done a phenomenal job. I mean, running the show, putting this in place. It's just at some point in time, I think we would like the opportunity. In 2 years, 2 years watching them go to work, I'm excited to get an opportunity to do the same thing. I've ran multiple businesses. Whether I am ready to lead. I just wanted to share that with Kemp Boyd, both and. I hear everybody's concern about not coming in when we had 5 or 6 new people. I get that, and I respect that, and I'm glad that decision was made. But moving forward, I think there's an opportunity for us all to showcase some of our talents. When you take a look at the mayor's cabinet, I mean, some phenomenal people. And sorry, I'm starting with Miss Esther, Montrella, and Brittany, and you can go down the list of individuals that are phenomenal, and Mr. Cress Little. I think with the openness that they have, the willingness to allow us to come in and have conversations, I don't think we need 30 years to be able to lead. I think with their experience and their help and their willingness to help us, I think we will hit the ground running. So I wanted both and. I thank the leadership. I thank them for all of the hard work. Mr. Fusco took a time to explain to me the separation piece. I am so thankful. Ms. Margot took time to explain different things, and so did Brad. I think they're phenomenal leaders. I like Shador Sanders, is looking forward to an opportunity to walk into perhaps maybe not a chairship, but perhaps a vice chair or something of that nature. I'm ready to lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Garrett. We have a motion to refer. Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second to refer. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Can I do a roll call vote on that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
McKittrick?
Aye.
Fusco? Omobian?
Nay.
Connor? And Davis. The motion passes 4-1.
Okay. Thank you very much, Clerk. We have one last piece, 4A, a resolution amending resolution number 373-2023 to implement, supplement, and/or amend Rule 5.3 of the Rules of Procedure for Akron City Council and declaring an emergency. I am yielding to the sponsor.
Yes, thank you. Just asking for council's consideration, and not today. I'm asking to refer this item in the interest of both time as well as giving everyone an opportunity to look it over and consider it. This is a proposal that would, those that have a vested interest in our city, in everyone, including all residents, all taxpayers, all utility customers, all property owners, all renters, all business owners, all JED residents, all renters in JEDs, all businesses in JEDs, the opportunity to speak to council during the public comment period itself. And this would also focus us on issues that we can deal with as a city council, as opposed, there's so much we have here to do. There's a lot here that we have. And I think to a certain extent, we've kind of swerved a little bit away. But with this, I'm just asking for council's consideration. Again, I believe that by doing this, we'll be able to focus on what Akron, those that are vested in the city of Akron have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Fusco. I'm hoping we can formulate our questions for next week, since he's asked for a referral of this, if it would be okay with our members of council.
Motion to refer.
Council representative?
I just wanted to make a quick note, if I may, Chair.
Sure.
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to point out this legislation would restrict people who are coming before council to speak. And, you know, the Charter Section 33 mandates that members of the public, and not necessarily Akron residents or taxpayers or utility customers or property owners, it doesn't stipulate that. So I think my question is maybe a legal one about whether we see this as a conflict. It seems like it might cut people out that are specifically given that right in the charter. I'm not an attorney, however, I would just like to note. And then it creates a minimum application requirement to submit the form before public comment, and it would allow council people to cut people off mid-public comment. So I just wanted to raise that. I don't know if there's anybody particularly that are not included that are important for us to cut out of public comment.
I would fathom a guess. I'm not an attorney either, and we could get that information, again, asking for a week's time. Yeah, those individuals, like from Cleveland that we've heard of, from Cincinnati, from basically all over, who have, for whatever reason that may be, a vested interest. I don't know if they're, what their mission is or why they come here to, but I think in terms of us, the city of Akron, focusing on what we need to focus on in our constituents and responding better to them, I think is, I would rather, as opposed to saying exclude, I'd rather say include those that we have, again, that has a vested interest within the city of Akron, and the JEDs. Obviously, they do, our utility customers, all of them. I'm going to work on more information to provide to council for next week, but I believe that this is in council's best interest. That's why I'm proposing it, and again, next week is fine. I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to refer.
I think Councilwoman Connor already made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second for referral. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
Can I do a roll call vote on that, please?
please.
McKittrick?
Aye.
Fusco? Amobian?
Aye.
Connor? And Davis. The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Clerk Viviano. We have nothing further to come before rules. We will be adjourned, and I apologize for the inconvenience for anyone. Thank you.
Our next committee today will be the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, Wilson, Bolden, and Lombardo. If we can give everyone just a moment here to get to their seats, we'll get started in just a moment. Thank you. We're ready here in chambers if you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. I would like to move forward and call the public service meeting to order. All members are present, or are we missing one?
Correct. All members are present.
All right, thank you. We do have minutes to approve. If I can get approval of those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, well, thank you. Sarah, since I'm not in council chambers, I'm going to ask you to read in the pieces of legislation, please.
Sure. Public service starts with item number 13, and that's an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to apply for and, if awarded, accept and expend grant funding from the Ohio Department of Transportation for the design of the rehabilitation of Taxiway P and the purchase of snow removal equipment at the Akron Fulton Airport and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. And I do see we have our service director, Chris Luttle, with us. Chris, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Yes, this legislation will allow us to apply to ODOT, and if awarded, accept that grant. We previously received a grant from FAA for the Akron Fulton Airport, and what this application is for is the rehabilitation of Taxiway P. Taxiway P is the runway that's adjacent to the main runway or just to the north. It runs parallel and connects all the airport hangars to the runway, and then they go from this runway over to the main runway. Also also in the funding will be for snow removal equipment. We passed legislation previous to this to accept the other grant. So that's what this piece of legislation is for. So we did receive 95% funding from FAA. This application came as we were looking at other grants. ODOT would allow us to apply to bridge that 5% gap that we did not get.
All right, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I will start with any committee members that have any questions or comments for Chris Luttle. I don't see anyone. Any other council members? All right. Is consent okay, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Committee.
Motion for consent?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Thank you. We'll put that on the consent agenda. Sarah, number 14, please.
Item number 14 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to apply for and, if awarded, accept and expend grant funding from the Ohio Department of Transportation for the design and replacement of the fuel farm at the Akron Fulton Airport and declaring an emergency.
Chris Luttle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. This is another ODOT grant that we are applying for, so this will allow us to apply and, if awarded, accept. We have talked about the fuel farm in the past. There has never historically been any grant funding, whether it's FAA or ODOT or other organizations that have offered grants for this type of thing. This is the first. So we got our application in. And what we would like to do is remove the 2 existing tanks and then install 3 fuel tanks. This time they would be above ground, so the underground tanks would be remediated. And there again, as I said, we're really pleased that they are offering money for this type of project.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any questions or comments from committee members? I don't see anyone. Any other council members with us today? All right. Consent okay, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Committee?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed to consent? All right, we'll put that on consent agenda. Sarah, next piece, please.
Item number 15 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for construction of safety and traffic calming improvements along East Cuyahoga Falls Avenue and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. Chris Luddle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. This is a contract that we were awarded a grant through ODOT for just over $400,000, and we're looking of the section of roadway of Cuyahoga Falls Avenue from North Main all the way up to the Route 8 Expressway. There are sections of this roadway that are not really 3 lanes or 4 lanes in each direction. We've had quite a few accidents of people passing on the right. So with this project, this money, one, we're going to be able to rehabilitate 84 curb ramps. There's a lot of curb ramps that are out of compliance with new ADA regulations. So, and plus what we would do in the restriping plan is we would improve the whole corridor. We recently resurfaced the section from Front Street to Murray, which is in very poor condition. That section was pushed off basically, I believe, from 2023, the resurfacing program because of the tunnel project. As you know, the North Side Tunnel down by the old Gorge Power Plant is where the exit tunnel happened. Now that the tunnel machine is completed, they removed the equipment. We just got that resurfaced basically before the weather turned on us. So now the whole stretch has been resurfaced. This grant will allow us to rehab those 84 crosswalks and restripe the whole corridor to make it safer. We are adding 1 mid-block crossing for pedestrians. There's a lot of pedestrians up on North Hill that do walk this corridor, so it is going to improve the safety of this corridor.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments for Chris Luddle today? Committee members? Any other council members with us today? All right. Is Councilman Lombardo, you got a question?
No, I did not.
Okay. Sorry, I saw you move your hand. Chris, is consent okay?
Consent is fine. I just want to add one thing. We are going to do public outreach. This wouldn't start till, most likely wouldn't start till say April or May. So we did offer the councilman to come to his ward meeting, I believe, March or April. And we are going to do mailers of the whole corridor and do public outreach so everybody knows what's going on. So I did want to add that, and consent is fine, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate the public outreach. Motion for consent, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to the next one, Sarah.
Item number 16 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the design and/or management of the High Main Viaduct Rehabilitation Project and declaring an emergency.
Back to you, Chris Luddle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. This legislation, we are advertising, or we did advertise on Bonfire, Builders Exchange, to look for consultants, engineering firms to do a design of this bridge project. It's the High Main Viaduct. This is the bridge over Rosa Parks as you're on High Street. This needs a surface course repair. There's repairs that do needed underneath the bridge. Until we get a full design, and that's what this legislation is for, will allow us to hire a engineering firm to do that design. We did receive bridge funding 95% bridge funding a couple years ago. So the schedule of this, sir, would be design in '26, and then we would bid and get under a contract in '27 for these bridge repairs.
Sounds good. Thank you. Committee members, any questions or comments? I do see Councilman Wilson.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I see on the the Uniform Council report, what's the BR funding source? I imagine it's something bridge related, but what is the long form of that?
It's bridge repair through ODOT.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. All right, I don't see anyone else. Consent okay, Chris?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion for consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right. Next piece, Sarah.
Item number 17 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract after requesting and receiving requests for qualifications with an engineering consulting firm for the supplemental engineering services required for the 2026 Capital Investment and Community Development Program and the 2026 operating budget, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. Chris Ludlow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. This legislation before you will allow us to after we advertise, we also not only advertise on Bonfire, we advertise on Builders Exchange, and we do reach out to consulting firms, whether they are local to Akron or in the surrounding county. What these supplemental services allow us to do, we get their qualifications, and then we do request what their scope of services are costing us. So if, let's say, housing needs to take down a house, or they want to sell a piece of property, and there has to do some soil borings or survey, and let's say it's a $2,000 contract or $5,000, small contracts, this allows us to enter into these contracts instead of going back every time to bid each one of those projects. Last year, I think we had 34 firms submit. Currently, it's on Bonfire as of this morning. We're advertising, and this just allows us to move through the process without every little project going back for some of these specialized services. Some of them could just be a traffic study. If we're going to add a light, remove a light, that type of thing, or to study an intersection. This allows us to hire one of those firms. I don't want to ever say a small dollar amount, but an incremental dollar amount without going back and bidding every project.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, any questions or comments for Chris Ludlow? Any other council members with us today? All right, well, thank you. Are you looking at consent agenda?
That's fine.
All right.
Motion for consent.
Second.
All in favor of consent, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to the next piece, Sarah.
Item number 18 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the emergency demolition of 71 condemned residential structures located throughout the city of Akron and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah, and I see we have Mr. Lash with us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of council. This is for our 2026 demolition program for residential demolition. I have brought Mr. Dwayne Greger, our Housing Division Manager, to answer and entertain any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Lash. Appreciate that. Committee members, any questions or comments? Councilman Lombardo.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Mr. Lash and Mr. Greger, for this work, because we all appreciate that. How does 71 compare to, and I know this year we had that grant and knocked down, what, 95, something like that? So how does this compare to previous years, 71? Is it increase about the same?
Yes, this is very comparable to last year. Last year, we were able to utilize or earlier this year, last year, the state funding. We did about 100 total demolitions there, so this is very comparable to that.
Okay. And could we get a list of those 71 houses? Is it, how do you determine these 71?
71 were all on the list that were sent out for bid individually. So yes, we do have a list.
Okay, thank you. If we can have that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I do have a question. I'm trying to look it up right now. Mr. Greger, do you know the funding source this is coming out of?
A portion of these, the demolitions that are on the list that are for voluntary demolition waivers are covered by Community Development Block Grant funds. The remaining are general fund.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other council members on public service? Any other council members with us today? Okay. Mr. Lash, what is your pleasure on this piece?
Consent is fine, sir.
Thank you. Committee?
Motion for consent.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to, I think this is our final piece. Sarah?
That is correct. Item number 19 is a resolution encouraging the City of Akron to adopt and implement veteran-only parking spaces at certain city-owned facilities in order to honor Lawrence Williams, a two-time Purple Heart awardee who worked tirelessly to secure veteran-designated placards at local stores to ensure veterans felt seen and appreciated throughout Akron, recognizing and commending the courage, sacrifices, and service of all Akron veterans and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. I do know, I'll start with Chris Luddle first, and then we can yield to the sponsor.
Respectfully, I will yield to the sponsor, and then I can answer any questions, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. I'd like to thank Lawrence Williams for his tireless work in this regard in terms of fighting for veterans, whether it's Home Depot, Lowe's, but now the City of Akron, to have the veteran-only parking spaces. With over 9,000 veterans that we have in the City of Akron, it is just my desire to really honor them so that they feel seen, heard, and appreciated throughout the city, and by putting them in the community centers. I had an opportunity to listen to my colleagues' concerns. We've addressed those concerns, whether it's out in Kenmore, had an opportunity to speak to Ms. Sharon Connor, and also had an opportunity to address Councilman Hannah's concern of having rolling out in phases. Chris Little, the director, was so gracious to roll all 10 of these out at the same time. And I can't not mention the Attorney John, who helped write this legislation and bring it all together. So I really thank everybody for the opportunity to present this to the veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but they're seen and heard every single day throughout our community. Lastly, had an opportunity to attend the Christmas party for the City of Akron. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to run into the group, the ERG group. And during that time, I ran into Mr. Dwayne Greger, who's a member of the military, but it's an organization that represents veterans. And it was just nice to see the individuals there that day to really talk about veterans and just really feel that this was for them. They felt appreciated, they feel seen, they feel heard. So I thank you, Chair, for the opportunity and bringing forth this legislation. Thank you.
No, I thank you, and I thank you for your service, and I appreciate you bringing this to council. Is there any other council members on the Public Service Committee that has any questions? And if I could get that screen, I'd appreciate that of Council Chambers. Are there any other council members on public service? I really can't see Council Chambers right now.
Okay. IT Department, can you adjust our camera view, please?
I see it now. Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right. So any other council members in chambers with us? And if it's okay with the sponsor, I would like my name added if possible, please. Mr. Garrett.
Mr. Chair, Councilwoman Boyce has her hand raised.
Sure, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to thank Councilman Garrett as well as Mr. Luddle for working with Alice over there at the community center to make sure that this doesn't adversely affect any of their patrons, and I'm excited to get the parking installed. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, if there's no other questions or comments,
Mr. Chair,
Eric?
Mr. Chair, before you begin, I just wanted to say
Sure.
one quick thing. I just wanted to thank Councilman Garrett for his leadership on this piece, and also thank Mr. Luddle. Again, this is how we work together. You know, we had conversation, we're able to work things out and implement this citywide. And so again, just thank you so much, Councilman Garrett, and I think this is a wonderful way in which we can recognize our veterans here in the city of Akron.
Thank you, President Somerville. I'll go ahead and make the motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report if I can get a second.
Second.
All in favor of suspension of rules, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. That is it for us today. Thank you, and we are adjourned.
Okay, we're going to move right into our Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. We do have all committee members present. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Viviano. I'd like to call public safety to order. We have some previous minutes to approve. If I could get a motion in a second.
Motion to approve previous meeting minutes.
Sorry, I didn't hear who made that motion.
I made the motion to approve the
Thank you.
previous meeting minutes. Thank you.
Can I get a second? Okay, all in favor? Approval of the minutes, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have one piece on the regular agenda. We'll continue with time on that. We have two new pieces that come in. The first piece is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Akron Community Development Association, DBA Minority Behavioral Health, for implementation of Akron Hospital-Linked Violence Intervention Program pilot and declaring an emergency. Sir Thomas.
Thank you, Chair, President of Council. We're here today on and a document is being handed out that gives an overview of this piece of legislation and its importance to our hospitals and reducing violence based on evidence-based research. My colleague, Health and Education Strategist, Rochelle Wardell, and guests will further inform the committee.
Thank you.
Madam President, Mr. Chair, council members, thank you for your time. I want to dive in quickly before we talk about structure and funding. I want to pause on why the Hospital-Linked Violence Intervention Program matters so much for Akron. Every shooting in our community, every moment a young person or adult is hospitalized from violence is not just an incident. It's a trauma that ripples through families, neighborhoods, and generations. Our hospitals meet people at their most vulnerable moment, often scared, often alone, and often ready for something to change. Hospital-linked violence intervention programs are designed to step into that moment with support instead of leaving people to navigate it by themselves. This model has decades of evidence behind it. It's about trained, culturally trusted professionals sitting at the bedside, helping someone stabilize emotionally, create a safety plan, and get connected to services that make retaliation less likely and future injury less likely. It replaces isolation with support and interruption with opportunity. The city's been working for over a year to bring the partners together, align the hospitals, identify the community-based lead, and design the model with people who understand the trauma our residents experience. We've been the conveners, coordinators, and problem solvers, making sure the program is built with the right structure and accountability. This legislation represents the city's commitment. $73,000 for the pilot's first 12 months to help Minority Behavioral Health Group implement the program and support a dedicated hospital-linked violence intervention coordinator to carry this work forward. My colleague Tony Ingram wasn't able to come today, but I want to highlight a few things he would say if he were here today, which is that this program is an essential piece in our overall violence reduction strategy to build and bring together intervention and prevention services by reaching people that traditional approaches cannot reach. It complements law enforcement by addressing root causes, reducing retaliation, and reducing repeat victimization. It provides a non-police intervention during a moment when people are most open to change. And of course, I want to mention that we'll be monitoring outcomes, tracking engagement, and reporting back to ensure accountability and impact. Again, this is trauma-informed, it's evidence-based, and it's human-centered work. It's exactly the kind of upstream intervention that changes outcomes for individuals and for the city as a whole. I'm grateful to you all for considering the release of these budgeted funds and to our partners at Minority Behavioral Health Group for their willingness to stand with our residents during their most vulnerable moments. So with that context, I'd like to now turn to our partners who will be carrying out this work, the people who will be on the ground. Minority Behavioral Health Group is at the heart of this model. They bring the relational experience, the trauma-responsive approach, and the long-standing trust that makes a program like this effective. This is why they're our partner in both this initiative and the Akron Street Team, which is, of course, our violence intervention credible messenger program. Founder and CEO, Pastor Jeffrey Dennis, is with us today, along with licensed clinical counselor and special programs manager, Angelo Anderson. Pastor Dennis and Angelo, the floor is yours.
So the purpose of the urgency of the HVIP program is especially for those that will be suffering from victimization due to gunshot wounds or any type of violence situation that they may be in. I, as a professional counselor, have been working with our agency for quite some time now in providing therapeutic services to the community throughout the schools and throughout the community with men and children. The purpose and the urgency of the HVIP, especially how a hospital-based approach reaches individuals at a critical teachable moment, is immediately after experiencing violence. Minority Behavioral Health Group, we are here to support the families and the patients that are experiencing this particular trauma, and to stabilize immediate crisis and prevent retaliation, and also foster a long-term and healing opportunity. We want to be able to improve patient outcomes, prevent retaliation and reduce violence, support families and communities, and build pathways to stability by strengthening a hospital-community partnership. A model that was already established in Baltimore. Baltimore had a violence intervention program operated through University of Maryland Medical Center. Is one of the most first hospitalized-based programs in the country. It engages patients recovering from violent injuries to prevent re-injury and retaliation. The impact is that the program reduced re-injury rates by 83% among participants and connected over 2,000 individuals to mental health, employment, and housing supports. Participants report stronger trust in hospital systems and lower justice involvement after engagement. It also lessens, the lessons for Akron is key lessons include importance of early engagement, consistent multidisciplinary huddles, and faith-based integration, which is sustainable in our communities. MBHG's role as a community-based lead is our expertise is in bringing trauma-responsive care, the trusted relationship that within the community to provide, to provide a trusted connection within the community and deliver interventions effectively. We've been in this community since, Minority Behavioral Health Group has been in the community since the 90s. 1990s, and committed to a trauma-responsive approach. Since our origin, we've done historical context and persistent integrating issues of oppression for people who experience these type of traumatic events. Our African-centered, value-based, holistic structure is central and essentially centering relationships as our highest value. I'll let Pastor Dennis jump in.
Good afternoon, President Somerville, members of council, chair of this committee, and to all the committee members. We look forward to this partnership. We really do. Minority behavioral health exists to really fill some gaps in our community, and with the goal of making the community stronger, making the community better. We feel that we can certainly assist with this initiative in several areas, some that have already been mentioned. The building of trust as it relates to the community, competency, of course, and that's understanding the people that are involved, compassionate care, and I think what we bring to the table as well is credentialed clinical excellence. We bring a great team of people to the table, and we look forward to collaborating with other agencies. And I think at the heart of what we do, I know that there are a lot of agencies and groups that deal with a lot of things connected to violence and with crime. Our heart is to deal with the trauma, and that not only impacts the people, the victims, but also their families and others. So we look forward to this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any further comments before I open it up to committee members and council members?
Mr. Chair, I should have mentioned that Mr. Anderson here, he will be the coordinator for the program. He will be the individual who goes in bedside and works in the lobby with families and loved ones. I missed that key point.
Okay, thank you very much. Pastor Dennis, I know this is something that's you're very passionate about, and I greatly appreciate it because it's a way of really making a difference, and I appreciate your dedication to it. Looking forward to seeing this come to fruition and really make a headway in this issue and helping out folks. So, are there any comments or questions from any committee members?
Comment if I can stop coughing.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too know Pastor Dennis is very passionate about this program. Just like to know, would these funds allow for more time for credible messengers to go into hospitals during those trauma events? It's certain information that they need, and sometimes they can't get that because of resources not being available. So would any of that be allocated for that purpose, for your credible messengers? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And just before I respond to that, just being in pastoral ministry for 40 years here in Akron and being in mental health for over 30 years, this really is a passion that we have. And really, it's good to see this kind of collaboration in these unique ways happening to address issues that need to be addressed from slightly different perspectives. So thank you all for your support with that. The credible messengers will certainly be working with Angelo Anderson. He is actually one of the men that is a part of the 160 hours that we use to train men to participate in what we call credible messengers, those who are out there in the community working with families. Already, these men have established, as you were shared just briefly, avenues to talk to families. This really enhances that opportunity to really get to those families, to get to them at the bedside, and to also get to those who are connected to those who are in the hospital. So it does create another avenue and another vehicle for the credible messengers, Angelo, to connect with them. And it gives us the opportunity to also connect those families with the resources that they will need to help. So I hope that answered your question there. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for the question. Councilman Hanna.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one question, and thank you for that presentation. This is hot off the press, this document, because I look at the upper left-hand corner, and it has the new city logo on there. So this document is hot off the press, isn't it?
It's hotly updated. I switched out that logo this morning.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, I noticed down at the bottom it says the bigger picture. It says, together we can build a safer, healthier Akron, starting at the hospital bedside. You just mentioned that, Pastor. What does that mean, starting at the hospital bedside? Are you actually going to the bedside of the people that's been injured or being shot and, mentoring to them?
Absolutely. The collaboration with the hospitals and with other members who are part of this grants us the access to get to that person right there at the hospital. And that also connects us with their families as well. And we think that a lot of great work could happen just being present. In addition to that, a number of families are African American families. And I think what helps to build trust in the community is to have someone who can go in, who is competent, who is trained, who maybe the victims and their families may feel a little bit more comfortable with, and may trust the referral to working with other agencies. So yes, we're going right in and with permission and providing those services that are needed to those families.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Amobian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's good to see you, Reverend Dennis. And as a co-founder of the Minority Behavioral Health, I am so happy to hear and to see that the good work that we started many, many years ago is continuing. And when I talk about the good work, I'm talking about being creative in how services are delivered to certain groups of folks. And I think this is what this represents to me. Continuing to work with qualified individuals who have a heart for the work, who understand it from a different perspective, and who are doing the work. So thank you for this work that you're doing. It's a nice, wonderful joint effort. And to the leadership, this is about intervention. This is not about safety. This is about treatment intervention. And this clearly belongs in health and social services. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other committee members or council members? Is it possible, is there a time constraint on this? Could we take at least a week's time to look at this, or?
Sure. As it pleases the committee, we would love to get this by the end of the year, but certainly if you need time next week.
Okay.
Great.
All right. Thank you very much. Could we get a motion for referral for a week's time?
Motion for time.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. I appreciate everybody's time coming down today for that, and we have one more piece to come before us, and I don't know if we have somebody to present on it. It is an ordinance authorizing the mayor as the designee to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids for the purchase of vehicles for the fire division and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler's here.
So this one is pretty straightforward, and I'm happy to take this.
Thank you.
This is for the purchase of 2 Ford Expeditions for the fire department. One was in an accident earlier this year, so we're looking to replace it with some existing funds that we have that we are hoping council will be okay with passing tonight. It was competitively bid through CUE, so we're using existing state contract pricing. And with that, I can take any questions.
Okay. Any questions from any committee members or council members? Yes, Mr. Hannah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Is this ordinance for those two vehicles for the fire chiefs?
I don't necessarily know if it's for the fire chiefs. I do know it's for fire leadership.
Okay, and it was two vehicles?
Yes.
That it was over $100-some thousand.
Yes, it's
okay. Same thing.
It's for $102,000 or $103,208.04.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Council Representative Wilson.
Just a quick question. You mentioned an accident. Could you tell us quickly about that?
I do not know the details offhand. I'm sorry. I would
I
have to
understand.
defer to the fire department.
I understand.
Thank you. Any other questions from committee members or council members? I assume that since this is the end of year, that this is something that the expenditure needs to.
Yes,
go
I am
forward.
requesting, if possible, if we could suspend the rules for this piece, please.
Okay. You have a motion for suspension of the rules with a favorable report.
Motion to suspend the rule with a favorable report.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules with a favorable report. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we will get that before council tonight, and thank you very much. We have nothing further to come before public safety, and we will be adjourned. Thank you.
Our next committee is the Budget and Finance Committee. We'll begin in just a moment. Thank you. Okay, we're ready to begin the Budget and Finance Committee. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boyes, and Bolden. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Viviano. I'd like to call the Budget and Finance meeting to order. First, with approval of meeting minutes from last week.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. We do have two items from that we took time from last week, so I want to start with that. First is the ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or their designee to enter into an agreement or agreements without the formality of advertising for bids for the purchase of miscellaneous supplies, services, repair parts, and labor for machinery and equipment used for various divisions and departments of the city for a period of 1 year, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler?
So last week we put this on time because we thought we needed to put in a substitute due to a clerical error. My understanding is that even though it is a clerical error that's on this, that we are okay with proceeding. And with that, we would ask for passage on consent agenda if there is no further questions.
Just to clarify, we did receive an updated version with the corrected wording and under the description, and it has been added to agenda to go. So it did not need a full substitute because it was a clerical error, but council does have the corrected version in front of you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Is there any questions we have from committee members or council members? No questions here, so okay, I get a motion for consent?
Motion for consent.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Consent agenda. Second piece from last week is an ordinance amending ordinance number 107-2025, passed March 31st, 2025, which established the annual appropriation for current expenses, other expenditures, and the capital outlays of the City of Akron for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler?
Thank you. We are going to ask for 1 more week of time on this piece, please.
Okay, very good. Any questions, or can I get a motion for time again?
Motion for time.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll see that's still on time. All right, moving on to our new legislation. And the first piece, number 5, ordinance approving the funding necessary to implement the agreements between the Akron Firefighters Association, Local 330, and Civil Service Personnel Association bargaining units and the City of Akron, approving funding necessary for adjustments in compensation and healthcare benefits for the Akron Firefighters Association, Local 330, and Civil Service Personnel Association bargaining units, all while economically utilizing taxpayer dollars to provide quality services to Akron citizens and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you. So this piece represents the bargaining agreements for both Local 330 and CSPA. It represents the years 25 through 2027 with a 5% increase in 25, 4.5% increase in 26, and 4.5% increase in 2027. This is very similar to what was passed with the FOP, and for that, it also includes the same provisions in healthcare where we, as we previously mentioned, we're trying to standardize the premiums that we charge the employees across the city. So that is also included in this in Section 2.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any questions from committee members or council members? Councilman Brad McKittrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just curious, you know, we talked in our meeting with leadership today with the administration. How long do you think the actual rest of the details are going to take to be ironed out?
So I can speak to that, Councilman. So generally speaking, there really is not much of a disagreement remaining. There's one appendix that we are trying to figure out how to finalize. We're trying to balance administrative efficiency for the city and maintaining parity among wage scales, and trying to also effectuate certain minimum levels that are required by our charter in terms of percentage increases or decreases. That has led over the years, some rounding errors over the years, many years, has led to wage scales that are slightly off. And so we're just trying to remedy that with the union. They've been working with us and very cooperative, and we're hopeful that that should be forthcoming.
Okay, so passing this today, that continuation of a cooperative working on this together will continue?
Yes, and I believe I'll let Mr. Wheeler address this as well, but the intent is to get the funding necessary and to implement and pay our firefighters and our CSPA members those COLAs and those increases immediately. So we're not going to hold that back while we work on this small wage scale issue. It's very small. It's not material, if you will. It's only material from an administration standpoint. That's the difficulty.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Councilman Fusco?
in essence, time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence.
Yes, I figured as much.
Very good. Yeah. I don't see any further questions. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules? Suspend the rules. Okay. We have a motion from Councilman Fusco. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor to suspend the rules? Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with Revised Software Systems, LLC, for services related to website content availability, guidelines, compliance support, and maintenance for the City of Akron website, and declaring an emergency. Seems like we have Stephanie Marsh here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, members of committee, members of council. So this is our renewal contract with Revise, which is our web designer. They provide hosting services for the city website. This year, they're also going to be providing some guidance for us about ADA accessibility. There's been some new legislation coming out of the federal government, and it's called Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Going into practice in April, so it's certain things that we just need to make sure are in practice on our website. Things as far as like being able to make the text bigger, making sure all of our color coding is correct for ADA accessibility. So just kind of adding an extra component to make sure that we are in compliance across the board prior to April. So as part of this, we're also getting a refresh on the city website. So essentially migrating our content, making sure everything is organized, removing any content that's old. The website itself is not too old. We've done a pretty good job maintaining it and keeping it pretty organized. But it'll just make sure that we stay organized moving forward. So this contract goes through 2029. So this will be for the next several years. And I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Councilwoman Tina Boyes.
Thank you. Not a question, but just wanted to mention that updating the website in any way tends to boost new pages, which I find a lot of outdated pages still showing up on Google when you do searches. So it'll be helpful to have current information showing up first. So thank you.
Yep.
All right. You have a question, Councilman Fusco?
And I think it pertains to this legislation. It's a little outside, but not quite. In terms of, I assume this is also going to have our new logo on here, right?
It will, yes, yeah.
Are we going to see legislation on that? Because the last time we had a new logo a couple years ago, we didn't have any legislation at all, I don't think. I'm just curious if we're going to see any whatsoever. Just curious. And what the cost is, for that whole changeover, because there's quite a bit of change, with a new logo that occurs.
Yeah, so we sent out just a primary email today just to let folks know if you've got stuff that still has that Rubber Worker logo on it, please use it up. So
Sure,
we have
yeah.
letterheads and business cards and things like that. So we're not just throwing everything out and ordering a bunch of new stuff today. Essentially, as those things break, they get old, we run out of them, they need to be replaced, then we'll add the new logo. All of the digital stuff we can update pretty immediately without any cost to it. So we're not going out and updating the trash carts, for example, or something like that. So there's no like large cost associated with updating the logo. My understanding, and I don't know if Brian left. We had some legislation over the summer about city insignia, which includes the mayor's office and city, just generally speaking, and also like Akron City Council's insignia. I'm not sure if we would need additional legislation to like approve a new city logo.
It rolled out.
Right,
So
because you're right. We didn't do one for the rubber worker logo. Essentially, we differentiated the
did it.
seal versus the logo. So I know we did have legislation about the city seal and updating it with that new All-America City 2025 on there.
Right, correct.
So I'll get back to you on that. I'll talk to Brian.
Cool.
And let you know.
Thank you. Do we have consultants in on this to help us with it?
With the logo, so it was Pritt Entertainment Group that was selected. We had 21 proposals, and they were the one that we selected out of that.
Good.
So they're hometown Akron folks right down on Main Street. They've been
Pretty cool. I'm just trying to educate myself
absolutely.
and other, how much was that contract for?
It was $50,000.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing this.
And that was through that was approved through the capital budget.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your pleasure this afternoon for this?
If we could suspend the rules and get it passed tonight, that would be great, so we can get a jump start on this refresh.
Sure. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report?
So move.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last piece this afternoon is number 7, ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Youth Success Summit to support the organization's operations and coordinate activities for after-school and summer programming providers and deliver technical assistance and coaching to programs serving Akron's youth and declaring an emergency. Very good. We have some guests in the house, but I will, okay, Rochelle, you want to start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, thanks again for having us. I want to briefly frame why the city of Akron is so committed to the work of Youth Success Summit and why your support is essential to this ecosystem. We should see the city as an anchor in Youth Success Summit. As we've been building a more coordinated approach to serving young people, it's become increasingly clear that this work only succeeds when the city plays a leadership role. The out-of-school time ecosystem is made up of dozens and dozens of independent providers, big, small, formal, informal. And without a central coordinating force, the system is fragmented. What the city brings is not just funding, it's alignment and the ability to convene partners around a shared priority and priorities for Akron's youth. YSS, sorry for jargon, Youth Success Summit, is doing the day-to-day work that no single provider can do alone. They're training, they're coaching, they're directing support to frontline staff, they're helping organizations with quality improvement and helping them navigate everything from compliance to curriculum and safety planning. They're the infrastructure behind experiences that our kids receive. And that's exactly why national leaders in this type of work, the cities that have strong, effective OST networks, out-of-school time networks, tell us the same thing over and over. These networks only last when the city is officially behind them. We'll also hear a bit about some national funding that Youth Success Summit was able to bring in. It's also highlighted on the year 1 overview that I passed out. This is a significant opportunity for Akron. As you know, local resources are limited, but this also comes with expectations. It's a significant investment in our community, but it also assumes that the cities put the skin in the game. Local public funding is a core requirement to sustaining the work behind the grant period from the Wallace Foundation, which you'll hear more about from our friends. So with that, I'd like to introduce our partners who are here with us to speak to their roles in the importance of this work. We have with us Laura DeCola, who is the Senior Program Officer for Education at the GAR Foundation. She'll talk to you about our partnership in funding this organization. Ellen McWilliams-Woods, she is a consultant for YSS at Illumin Integrated Solutions. Rachel Tecca is the Executive Director of the Youth Success Summit. And of course, you all know my colleague, Daniko Buckley-Knight, who is our Youth Opportunity Strategist. Laura?
Hello and good afternoon. As Rochelle said, my name is Laura DeCola, Senior Program Officer for Education at GAR Foundation. Thank you, Madam President, Chairman Lombardo, and the rest of the esteemed council members for the opportunity to share a few words today as to why our investment at GAR, why we invest in this powerful work. GAR is a private foundation here in Akron that has been investing in our community since 1967. We're committed to building a smarter, stronger, and more vibrant Akron. And we believe that a high-functioning network of high-quality youth-serving organizations and after-school programming and other opportunities for our youth is certainly essential to advancing this mission. Out-of-school time programming provides the building blocks that kids need to succeed in school and in life. And that's why GAR invests roughly $250,000 each year in Youth Success Summit to advance our priorities in both education as well as economic and community development in service of our mission. Our deep partnership and support of YSS and the partnership and work it is doing in such close lockstep with the City of Akron is among some of our best, highest leverage investments in recent years. Before YSS existed, our community had a patchwork of wonderful youth-serving organizations, initiatives, and funders, all working with that same overall goal of creating opportunities, but without dedicated support to align efforts and improve quality, to allow us to maximize resources together and truly work together as a sector in purpose of a shared goal. Our community is in a much better position now because of YSS and the work that it has been doing, again, in partnership with you all and with others in the community. You'll hear much more from these ladies for some examples, but YSS, in essence, really helps our out-of-school time and youth-serving providers do better work better, and to see themselves as part of a cooperative ecosystem. Instead of fragmented efforts, we now have a coordinated approach. By providing shared resources, training, and coordination, YSS ensures that every dollar invested reaches more kids, more programs, and more neighborhoods. So you may be wondering, why is philanthropy at the table? We're at the table because it takes the whole community coming together to create sustainable funding priorities to advance these efforts. Because of YSS and its partnership with the city, funders can now be more strategic, and together our community's collective investments can act as a catalyst for more dollars to come into the community to again deepen this investment. And for GAR specifically, YSS is an investment that complements and enhances many of our other education, workforce, arts, and community investments. It helps lift all programs, not just those that GAR is able to fund, and for that reason, it really advances our goals. In closing, we believe that YSS has been a powerful engine to connect the dots and amplify impact to ensure that as many kids as possible benefit from youth-serving high-quality OST opportunities. We thank you for the city's leadership. We value our deep partnership with YSS, and we thank you for your investment, your partnership, and your ongoing efforts to create opportunities for the youth of our community.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear next from Ellen and Rachel.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam President and Chair Lombardo, for having us. I'm Rachel Tecca. I'm the Executive Director of the Youth Success Summit. It's my pleasure to be here today and share my gratitude to the City of Akron for our really wonderful partnership. We get the opportunity to work side by side with the city of Akron to expand opportunities for young people in our city. And we do that by creating safe and enriching third spaces where our youth are engaged and inspired neighborhood by neighborhood. As you know, Youth Success Summit does not provide direct services to children. We provide direct services to our out-of-school time providers, right? And so we have worked diligently over the last year and a half to expand the number of after-school providers in our network. We started with about 40. We're up to over 150 in a year and a half. And I think that speaks directly to the fact that we have all of these wonderful, passionate after-school time providers who want to be part of a coordinated effort. And by doing that, we provide training, resources, technical assistance, and coaching to each of them so that they're at their best for children. One of the things that we have been able to do in addition to increasing our membership is that we've increased the number of mentors for our young people. When we started, we were at 203. We are now at 439 mentors, and that's a coordinated effort by lots of different people and lots of different organizations to make that happen. We've also increased the number of young people that are working in the summer through our summer youth employment. 2 years ago, we were at 583. Last year, we were at 830. That, again, is through coordinated effort with Jobs and Family Services, Akron Public Schools, and other local nonprofits. We have convened a group over the last couple of years to really look at the facility access and CLC usage. And so that has been hard, wonderfully rewarding work to really develop a new fee structure and new rules that have been adopted by the APS board. So our nonprofit partners can use our CLCs for free. It has been a goal of the Youth Success Summit to really bring in additional state or national funding to strengthen and expand opportunities for our young people. This September, the Youth Success Summit, in partnership with the City of Akron, Some Education Initiative, Akron Public Schools, and the United Way have secured a grant through the Wallace Foundation for a 6-year, up to $10 million grant for youth in the East Cluster, grades rising 6th grade through rising 10th grade. So we're very excited for the work that's been accomplished in partnership with all of you, and we look forward to the next couple of years.
Thank you, Rachel. Ellen?
Madam President and Chair Lombardo and the rest of our council members here, I tell you that when the city and the mayor and our school superintendent and a number of our major foundations, like the leadership that you've heard from the GAR Foundation, grabbed me out of retirement 1 week after retiring 3 years ago, to really take a look at creating this type of out-of-school time network and figuring out how do we provide support to the neighborhood organizations. How do we bring everyone together so that we're working towards common goals? And how do we attract funding, like you've heard, at a state and national level? It was really an easy decision to extend the learning and extend the outcomes. You all know that time between 3 and 6 is when the youth violence is happening. And if we can engage youth in the types of activities that our neighborhood organizations provide, that's a win for all of us. And when we can get kids working in the summertime, and with those substantial gains that you're hearing, and getting mentors for kids, doubling those mentors for kids, within a year and a half, all that happened because of this partnership with the city. Those are easy things to get around. When I did the research on behalf of the GAR Foundation, started meeting with other out-of-school time networks like this across the country. There are 70 of us across the country. All of them are in middle to large cities, as you can imagine. One of the major things, and this actually was also studied by the RAND Corporation, when they looked at the successful out-of-school time networks, one of the key levers was this mayor and city partnership, that if there was that strong presence by the city and the mayor, a part of kind of driving this out-of-school time network, then you got the outcomes that you heard. When that was absent, they either didn't survive and didn't make it, or the outcomes were pretty minimal. And that's why we built from the beginning this beautiful partnership that we've had with the city and with the mayor, and hopefully this very long-term partnership to sustain this so that we can keep hitting these goals and hitting these significant outcomes. The only other thing that I want to mention is when we go after these major national grants, to have up to $10 million, where that's going to be the $1 million over 6 years to support adolescents, who I know we all have had a lot of conversations about the needs of adolescents in this community. It also comes with an important piece, is that every year the Wallace Foundation, and this is true for any national funders that I have ever worked with in college and career academies and in the Akron Public Schools, every year we have to report local funding to them because they want to make sure that they're not giving us $10 million and then all the local funding is going away because, oh good, we got $10 million and then all the local funding. There is a really important accountability piece that we will have to report every year to show that we still have our local philanthropy, our city, our all of our other kind of partners that, especially our business partners that come around our work-based learning initiatives. So that's a second really important piece why this partnership is critical, and hopefully will continue year after year after year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Lastly, Mr. Chair, Danico is going to share with us how Youth Success Summit is helping to advance some of our city priorities for youth opportunity.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. I know that we're short in time, so I'm just going to give two quick examples of as it relates to work that we're doing, but we have to continue to work. So as you all are aware, the out-of-school time focuses on Monday through Friday, the summertime and weekends. And one of the things that we've identified is 3 pillars. Arts and enrichment is a pillar, college and career readiness is a pillar, and the third pillar is now sports and wellness. So in alignment with you all and with Mayor, we were able to roll out $100,000 in grants to provide nonprofit sports and wellness organizations this summer. And what we're doing now is we're trying to engage those organizations to become members of Youth Success Summit. So that is one of the big things that we're working on in 2026. How do we get that 150 community-based organizations up? And one of the things that we believe is true is when we get a lot of our sports and wellness nonprofits, we're going to hit a huge number of youth and young adults that we serve. And then the other initiative that I just want to make you all aware of is as we continue to navigate in this space of providing opportunities for youth and young adults, we notice that there's this group of 18 to 24-year-olds who is not enlisted, who is not enrolled, and who is not employed. And what we want to do is we want to strategize around those young adults and partner with those young adults and some of the community organizations to get them opportunities to be employed or to go to college, and if not college, go to the military, and if not, what is it that we can provide? So we've kind of created a pilot program in partnership with JOGS and Akron Public Schools. We're calling it the High School Grad Assistant Program. And we are now working with Winter Athletics through Akron Public Schools. They are identifying young adults who are not enlisted, enrolled, or employed. They're now going to serve as coaches at Akron Public Schools, wrestling coaches, basketball coaches, cheerleading coaches. And then as we work with them, we're going to try to obtain certifications, credentials to give them work opportunities. So we are doing some amazing work, but we have a lot of work to do as it pertains to what we're looking at, creating this ecosystem to prevent violence and provide opportunities for youth.
Great. Thank you so much. I definitely see 5 sets of passionate eyes towards our youth in the city of Akron, and that's awesome to see. And I hope you see the same on this side, more sets of eyes on that, because it's a very important topic and very important to the city. Keep our youth engaged, no doubt about it. Councilwoman Linda Amobian has a question or comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sitting here saying to myself, there you go again, Dr. Ellen McWilliams, adding credibility and clarity to a real large problem and helping us see the impact that this collaboration could have on it. So thank you, Rochelle and Denito and the guests that are there, because I was so impressed to hear about the money that you were able to get from the foundation, and then to hear the clarity of how we plan to use it and things that you have in store to do. So I know it's a huge undertaking, but it just reminds me that when Dr. McWilliams gets her hands in something, she digs deep and she comes out with the facts about how do we go about doing this work. So thank you so very much for being so invested and caring so much about our young people, because we know the earlier we can intervene with those folks, the better our community would be, and definitely the city is behind this. And Denico, I hope you can feel the support and presence that you have had, because I think this is really impacting what we're trying to accomplish, that we have some heavy lifting. And this is in addition to the program we heard about earlier, trying to look at those kids that are involved in, activities that are getting them hurt, but trying to find ways to intervene. So this is just outstanding. So thank you for all you're doing, and for the funders and those that are working closely with this.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments from our committee here? Good. Who's first? Sure. All right, Councilwoman Connor.
I'll make this brief too, because I know we're under some times here. First of all, congratulations on the Wallace Foundation grant. I know how hard you worked on it. But I just want to say, not only is Youth Success Summit important for our children and our youth, it's really been helpful to our partners. We've had so many people working with our kids who maybe didn't understand the importance of data, didn't understand the structure and the consistency that's needed throughout programs. I mean, even if you look at some of the sports programs, they may all play football, but they all kind of do it a little differently. And so getting them all under a good solid foundation has also been critical to this. And it was really much needed, and certainly we're grateful.
Thank you. Councilman Fusco, do you have a question? Oh, you didn't?
I'd like my name added, that's all.
Okay.
In support, 100%. Sorry, we're under
Right.
time.
Yes, I won't.
Okay, very good. All righty. Denico, suspending of the rules? Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report?
Motion to suspend the rules. Favorable report.
All right. This motion is second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Any opposed? Very good. Thank you so much for what you do for Akron and the city's youth. This meeting for Budget and Finance is adjourned.
Okay, we do have one more committee before we can begin our public hearings this afternoon, and that is the Housing and Neighborhood Assistance Committee. Those committee members are Fusco, McKittrick, Connor, Garrett, and Wilson. We do have all committee members present. Councilman Garrett is joining us virtually. Out of respect for everyone's time, I'm going to see if we can begin that here soon. Thank you.
I'm ready whenever you are. You just tell me when to go. Ready? Okay, very good. Roll call, please.
Fusco.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Connor. Garrett.
Present.
Wilson.
Aye.
All committee members are present.
Very good, thank you. I'd like to entertain a motion. We accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Against? Very good, the ayes have it. We have one piece before us. Sir Viviano, could you please read that in quickly?
Sure. This is item number 22, and I want to bring to the committee's attention that we did receive an updated piece this afternoon. It was emailed out by Summer this afternoon. If you're looking on your iPad, want to make sure you press that reload button to see the new document. This is item number 22. It's an ordinance amending and/or supplementing Title 15 Land Use, Chapter 150 Environmental Health Housing Code, Sections 150.05 Hearings, 150.051 Repair, Vacation, and Demolition, Procedure, Remedy of City for Noncompliance, 150.201, Entering a Condemned Dwelling, 150.30, Registration Required, 150.40, Rental Unit Mandatory Inspection Required, and 150.99, Penalty of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Akron and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Lash?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the council. Thank you for being here. We're actually bringing this piece of legislation before you, a portion of our housing code that we felt needed to be updated, and we wanted to bring this before you for your consideration. We're actually asking for it at this time because we're trying to get this implemented prior to the first or the start of the year. So I actually have brought, once again, Mr. Dwayne Greger, our Housing Division Manager, to answer any questions, should you have any, at this time.
Yeah, could you please go over did you want to say anything, Mr. Greger? I'm sorry. Any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, council members. Yes, this sort of spun off from the legislation change that we wanted for the vacant building registration, where we initially decided we wanted to try to change the publication requirements to try to make it so that we could just do those on the city website instead of through publication in a paper. And through those discussions and discussions with the housing supervisors and some of the frontline staff and some other things that we thought we'd like to see, some corrections or changes, we had some discussions with the law department, with Mr. Lash, and came up with some other amendments we would like to see in regards to fees for rental registration, mandatory inspections, and increasing the penalties to coincide with the penalty changes that we were requesting for the vacant building.
Good. Very good. Thank you for that report. Could you guys please go over G real quickly? Could you talk about that just a little bit, that change? This is referencing bond to promote rehabilitation, reconstruction, no right of appeal created. Just curious about that piece.
Okay, so this language is very similar, almost identical, to the language that in 2019, when we created the legislation for vacant commercial buildings.
Yeah.
The law department put in this section that allowed a subsequent purchaser of a property that had already been ordered demolished to come to the city with a plan to rehabilitate, submit a bond in the cost of the demolition, and then we could then enter into an agreement directly with them to rehabilitate the property. And if they did, they would get their bond back. And if they didn't, we would use their bond money to pay for the demolition.
Mm-hmm.
And we found this was very effective in a lot of ways, not the least of which it would not require a subsequent purchaser of a property on the demolition list to have to go to court to get a stay or a stay of the demolition.
Right.
They could come directly to the city.
Okay. But we are no right of appeal created, so we're sticking with that? Is that true? Is that the fact? Is that where we're at? No right of appeal created, this subsection is intended to promote.
Right, so after the time to appeal a demolition order has expired,
yeah,
then at that point, the only recourse that someone would have would be to go to the courts to ask for an injunction to stop the demolition.
Okay, gotcha.
So this would allow someone to come to the city with a plan and a bond that we're not required to give them a stay. It also does not give them a right to appeal the original demolition order. That original demolition order stays. It just gives a subsequent purchaser an opportunity to save the property. It gives the city the opportunity to save the demolition cost, or if they fail to live up to the terms of any agreement
Right,
that we enter into, we just use their, and that saves the money, city money for the demolition cost also.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Additional questions or comments from any committee members? You're on the committee? Mr. Wilson,
Yes,
their
I
first
am.
day, you're on a committee.
Here I am.
Just joking.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Chair. I appreciate it. I just had a quick question. I know, the council had some housing meetings a couple years ago, and one of the things that I think then Councilman Malik was a part of, we were doing a lot of discussions around raising penalties and application fees for out-of-state, as well as larger corporate entities. So I don't know if that's, I don't want to clog up committee, but I just want to highlight if that's been a part of the discussion on your side.
I'll just take the first effort at that. We have been discussing those matters. We haven't really begun to address them. We're going to take step by step. This is the first step in addressing some of these code changes. But to your point, we are in discussion as to how we can properly address those things.
Okay. Very good. You have another?
And if I
just please stick to the legislation.
Absolutely, always. I just want to say thank you for your work. Like, this is an important piece of legislation, so thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have something? Anyone else? Because I'd like to request that we refer this item short of any other questions or comments at this time. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't see your hand.
I didn't have my hand up.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
fair.
Chair. How do you determine unfit housing? How do you determine whether or not the house that you want to demolish, how do you determine if that should be demolished? Who determines that?
Well, that determination is made by the Housing Appeals Board, the Citizen Review Board that has the authority to order properties demolished. The Housing Compliance Division would present that property, a candidate for demolition, to them, and then we would have a public hearing where they would make a determination based upon the evidence that the city provides from inspection reports, photographs, neighbor testimony, and then testimony from the owner or anyone with an interest in the property. They would make a determination if it meets the city and the code criteria for demolition on whether or not it should be ordered demolished.
One more question. Why does it take so long for homes that have been, let's say, caught on fire and they are non-livable? It takes so long for those homes to be demolished. The demolition crew come in and knock them down, and they're an eyesore, and there's many of them in my ward. And I want to know, why does it take so long for that procedure to happen?
Well, in many of those cases, specifically with fires, if an immediate determination is not made by maybe of the fire officials that the structure is in imminent danger of collapse, then it can't be deemed an emergency, and it has to go through a normal process, a due process of issuing an order to the owner to either raise or rehabilitate the property, and then if they don't comply with that order, then we can take it to the Housing Appeals Board, and then it goes through that entire demolition process, which could take months or sometimes years.
Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to refer? Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, we will refer that item. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
That is our final committee meeting of the day. I want to thank everyone for your patience. Those that are joining for the public hearings, we're going to get started in just a moment here. Thank you.